Hello and welcome to NYOOOZ TV. As the budget is arriving on the door, we are here to clear your queries about the equity market with Mr. Vijay Bhushan. Mr. Vijay Bhushan is a part of Bharat Bhushan and Company, which is the leading stockbroking companies of India. Hello and welcome, sir. How are you expecting this year's budget to be?
Well, I think we are definitely expecting a good budget. Especially we are expecting that there will be a reduction in taxation both for the individuals as well as corporates. And also we are going to look forward to what the government is going to do, because I think the fiscal situation is comfortable, and therefore what initiatives they are going to take to boost the economy.
Which other sectors do you think will remain attractive both in pre-budget and post-budget?
Well, I think obviously the infrastructure sector is the first sector, because government government is the major driver for the sector, and I also think the auto sector, which has not been hit that strongly as was anticipated, that it will continue to do well, as well as your oil marketing companies, oil refining and marketing companies. I think these sectors will do well both pre and post budget.
Which sector has a minimum risk and maximum risk?
Well, I think that is largely related to the crude price, which which is widely anticipated to remain in the band of $40 to $60 per barrel. So should that be there, I think there is not that should not be a problem, because we are already at a level of about $56. So we are well, on the higher end of the range, and therefore this should not be a problem as far as the consumer is concerned, as well as from the government point of view, because beyond a certain level, say, which they have indicated, they may have to take some other measures, like in fact bringing down the excise duty itself, in case say oil goes above $70 to a barrel. Which
sectors are favorable to invest?
Well, I think obviously the sector where we can see investment flowing in will be of interest, and so I think the infrastructure sector is important. I also believe that the FMCG sector, which has taken a bit of a hit because of demonetization, with that effect wearing off, that sector will also show growth, because we've had a good monsoon earlier. And I think with liquidity being available in the hands of the consumers, we will see that sector also moving up. Along with that, as I mentioned, auto sector is another sector where we do expect further demand to come in, especially because of the pay commission revision that has taken place. So that sector should also do well.
What precautions one should take while investing in 2017?
Well, I think it's important to see the profitability of the individual companies. I think maybe if you look at the index level, there has not been much growth. If we see the past 10 years or the past 5 years, relatively the index has not grown so much, but the individual companies have done much better. So I think profitability will be the key, and one will have to look at profitability of the companies, and so it's really it's more of a bottom-up approach, which will have to be followed.
Which sectors are likely to be affected by GST and demonetization?
Well, I think in general, wherever the consumer sectors have been affected, because initially there was a pinch being felt by the consumers. There has also been a restriction on the amount that you can withdraw. Even a person was not able to withdraw from his own balances which we held prior to demonetization. So it has meant that the FMCG sector as well as the discretionary sector, especially the consumer durables, they have been somewhat affected. However, this is only temporary, and once liquidity comes back, which if you look at the current situation where the government is again easing the liquidity, so I think by the end of February, the position will be much better.
How the year 2017 will be different with 2016 in terms of investment?
Well, I think 2017 we will be also seeing those companies who have a robust sales, and they will be doing better. So this whole situation will change. I think demonetization has meant that the organized sector will do better, and obviously those companies will get a further fillip from the whole stress on digital transactions.
Do you expect foreign investment in the equity market this year?
Well, I think foreign investors have been investing in the Indian market. We unfortunately perhaps lose the tag of the fastest growing economy, but I think the demonetization, the effect should not extend beyond the second quarter, which is June of 2017. And as you know, the stock market starts discounting prior to the event itself. So I think after March, by the time we know about the budget, we also know about what kind of effect the policies of the change we see in the US. After that, I think we should see more flows from foreign investors in the country.
So do you think demonetization has brought about a bear phase in the stock markets? If yes, then how long is it going to last?
Well, it's obvious the markets have fallen post demonetization. So it's already, I would not call it a bear phase, but yes, there has been, the markets did fall. Now, however, in expectation of the budget, the markets have again looked up. So the market there is a lot of expectation from the budget. And we have normally seen that if the market moves up significantly before the budget, then it tends to fall down after the budget, because it's very difficult for any finance minister to meet all the expectations.
Travel industry is India's one of the most important industries which contributes to the economy. So how do you think will the budget affect the travel and hospitality sector?
Travel and hospitality, again, this is again related with the discretionary spending, because government initially allowed people to book their tickets with using old currency. There was a fillip perhaps in the beginning of the period, but then I think it will taper off, and it will these sectors will do well, because they are again linked with the consumers, but then they will take a little bit more time. I think that these sectors will show growth only after the second quarter.
As far as health issues in this country is concerned, so will health sector will be affected by the upcoming budget?
Well, the healthcare sector, if you look at it, all the large companies are they're exporting more than what they are selling in India. So I think India is a competitive market, and those companies that have an India focus will do better than the companies who are largely based on in sales to the US market in particular, because a lot of issues are coming on that side. But in general, this is a sector which has not done very well, and where the prices have of many leading healthcare companies has come down. I think that will get reversed in this sector, and from a underperformer, it will be at least a market performer this year.
How is the automobile industry is going to be affected with the upcoming budget of 2017?
I think the entire automotive sector should do well. As far as passenger cars are concerned, two-wheelers are concerned, that is directly linked with the income of the public. I think, or rather the retail investors. So that I think the money will be available with them. So I think auto is one sector which has belied the worry of demonetization, and is likely to do better in the coming months.
How will the upcoming budget will affect IT sector?
IT industry, there are some worries on what kind of measures are brought in by the new administration in the US, especially Mr. Trump, with his emphasis on ensuring that the Americans get jobs. They are also bringing in a law whereby $100,000 is the minimum requirement or minimum salary requirement for being able to get this visa. So I think this will be an important issue. The companies are gearing to meet that, and obviously if they have to hire people, because US is the biggest market and it's also a growing market, if they have to hire people in the US, their cost will be going up. So I think there will be pressure on margins in IT companies.
Real estate sector was the most affected sector because of demonetization. How will the upcoming budget affect the real estate sector in 2017?
I think real estate will take more time for recovery than other sectors, because this is one sector where you can postpone, by a relatively longer time you can postpone your investment. I think affordable housing, which is being promoted by the government, that will definitely receive a fillip in this year. But in general, real estate sector will remain subdued and will take perhaps till, as you have already may have noted, as the figures have come, the supply is reducing. New projects, there has been about a 60% drop in new projects coming up. So once demand also comes up and the excess supply that has been created, that has absorbed, the sector only can look up after that, which definitely should take more than a year.
Demonetization has affected the telecom and power sector as well. So how will telecom sector will be affected by the budget?
Well, I think telecom, Reliance Jio is posing the biggest challenge to all telecom operators. Their strategy and how whether they are going to extend this free period beyond March, that will be important, because as long as the free period is there, with already 7 crore subscribers, they have made a significant dent as far as both the growth on the telecom industry is concerned, as well as the ability of telecom companies to in tariffs. In fact, they have been trying and matching or reducing their tariffs, particularly for data, to be able to match Jio. So I think that is, telecom sector is in for a turmoil.
So talking about Trump and US market, what will be Federal Reserve and Trump impact on Indian market?
Overall, I think India will be a gainer as far as with Trump coming in. Somewhat there could be some pressure on the Indian rupee if the interest rates are increased in the US, because that will mean that the foreign investment that can come into India, that will get constrained because of rise of interest rates in the US.
Moving to the conclusion, is there something you would like to add or advise?
In conclusion, I feel that GST presents a very enormous opportunity for the government, because now that more or less a broad consensus has been formed. However, I think it will be important to see what rate at which the GST is done, and also the tax rates, because I think if in this budget, if we are not able to lower the taxation, this problem of black money or unaccounted money, that will not get solved. I think a major part of this arises on account of the taxation structure, and if you look at it, we are taxed fairly heavily. It's just not the taxation as far as the direct taxation is concerned. The indirect taxation also weighs very heavily. So I think now with GST, that the leakages will be less as far as the revenue is concerned for the government. Whether they can pass on the benefits to the common man, I think that will be the issue. And even for success of this demonetization, to give us long-term benefits, I think taxation rate is going to be the most important.
Thank you for speaking with NYOOOZ TV. It was a pleasure having you here.